Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben's award-winning podcast, as voted by Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and listeners. So if you're new to the podcast, make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts, listen back to all our previous episodes, sit back, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's episode. Hello everyone and welcome back to Gardening with Ben. Well, it's Monday and it's a brand new week, and I always enjoy a brand new week of allotmenting and podcasting. I hope you managed to listen to all 7 episodes what was put up last week on our podcast channel on Gardening with Ben. If you've not, check them out. There was quite a few good ones on there. We were talking about what seeds to plant in February and also what jobs needed doing in February on the allotment and in the garden. So if you've not listened to them, make sure you have a listen and check them out. And if you've not checked out my other podcast channel, which is called Gardening and Allotments Tips Podcast, there's 7 brand new episodes on there from last week as well. So lots for you to listen to. And we've already got a list of all the podcasts what we're going to record this week. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll get episodes every single day yet again for this week. So I hope you're all enjoying it. And if you're new to the podcast channel, make sure you click that subscribe button and you'll get notified when new podcasts come up. And thank you to everybody that is subscribing to these podcasts. It's certainly fantastic to see you all, and hope you enjoy them. So what are we going to talk about today in Monday's podcast? Well, we're going to talk about what jobs we are hoping to get up to down on my allotment, because now I've got 4 days off. As you're probably listening to this on Monday morning, I'll be in bed because I'll have just finished nights, and I will be sleeping, and hopefully I'm going to get on the plot on Monday afternoon. It depends on the weather. If it's shocking weather, which it's been all weekend, I'm so glad I've been working this weekend, because I certainly wouldn't have wanted to be down at the plot. Even in my shed doing jobs, I still probably wouldn't have fancied being down in the horrible windy weather what was happening. Hopefully all my allotments still standing still, because I certainly had to do quite a few repairs last week on the plot, especially with my shed. I had to fix a window which had broken, and also put some fencing up what had come down over the last few months. So I've been getting those repairs done, and that is what winter's all about. It's all about getting those repairs done and fixing any issues on your plot that you need to get done. So this week we're going to be concentrating on my main plot area. This is the biggest area that I need to get cleared, and I'm setting myself 1 month to get it cleared and tidy, and fingers crossed by the beginning of March it will all be cleared and tidied, and then we'll be moving on to getting my shed ready for the sowing of all my seeds, because that is when we start sowing all the seeds. I've still got a lot more seeds left to get, and I've still got to look at what I've got. I keep saying this in my podcast, you need to organise your seeds, and I certainly need to do it myself, because I've got so many packets of seeds. I'm just looking at them now. They're just staring at me in a carrier bag, not organised, not sorted out, and I really do need to sort all my seeds out. So that is one job that needs doing. But we're going to be concentrating on my main plot area, and I've got all my beds to empty and get cleared. I've got all my paths to sweep up and get rid of any rubbish what's lying around, and it's a case of just getting it all looking empty, ready for the year ahead, so that there's no weeds around, no old vegetation around, no old dead flowers around, and if there's any seed heads around, gather them up and I can sow them again this year. So hopefully we're going to have a nice empty plot in a month's time, but it all depends on the weather obviously, because like I say, this weekend's been absolutely terrible, but we can't complain at the weather for this winter. It's not been a bad winter whatsoever compared to the winters that we usually get. It's not been cold, It's not been snowing. We've had a couple of frosty mornings, but not many whatsoever. So this is giving me such a head start into the year, getting it all tidied and prepared and getting it all ready. So hopefully we can get that done. And now that the daylight's coming earlier in the morning, I can get there probably half an hour earlier than I usually do, or even possibly an hour. It all depends when the sun rises, and that will add extra time in getting stuff done. And I'm gonna set myself half an hour to spend in my shed and my polytunnel, getting that tidied as well, because I keep putting off going into my shed and my polytunnel to get the work done, because I usually like to do that when it's raining, and we've not been getting no rain on my days off, so they keep getting pushed back, but we do need them to start getting ready and getting them tidied. And like I say, I've not used my polytunnel now I didn't use it last year whatsoever, so all the bits and bobs that I've been clearing off my plot, I just shove in my polytunnel to keep them dry and keep them away, and it's an absolute bomb site. Trust me, if you saw it, you'd think he's a messy gardener. I never show that on my live videos, but I might actually take a picture of what it looks like now, and after I've cleared it. I won't show you what it looks like until after I've tidied it and cleaned it up, because I don't want you thinking, oh God, look at him. But yeah, I've got all that to do, but hopefully we'll spend quite a lot of time down there this week. I may even take my sandwiches down there and start spending longer down at the plot, because usually I'm leaving the plot about 1 o'clock-ish, because I've had enough by then, after getting down there at about 9:30. But I do need to start putting in a couple of extra hours to get a bit more done, and to get it done, because I want to get the best looking plot I've had in years this year, and without putting the time and the effort in, I can't get it done. And now that I work shifts, it's ideal for spending so much time down at the plot, because I'm working 4 on, 4 off, so I get 4 days on the allotment. And if you're setting yourself little goals, like I often do, I always say work on an area at a time and concentrate on that bit, rather than doing everything all at once. Just concentrate on certain areas, and that's what I do. So if I've got 4 days off, I'm going to be really going for it on the plot, and I can get loads done if I try. It's just not getting distracted while I'm down at the plot, because obviously you've got social media now and stuff like that, and people messaging me, and yeah, it's hard not to get distracted when you're down at the plot now, and that's what I tend to do quite a bit. But I bought myself a DAB radio with some of my Christmas money, so I listen to that now while I'm on the plot, and that gives me the motivation to keep on going as well. And sometimes it helps if one of the other plot neighbours comes down, because that encourages you to stay down there as well. So I'm looking forward to this week, and now that I'm starting to see light at the end of the tunnel, I'm happy with how the plot is coming along. But I'll be sharing a picture of what it looks like at the moment later today, so you'll be able to see how much I've got to clear in that month, which is manageable. It's definitely manageable. I could easily get it done, but yeah, stay tuned for that picture. And like I say, I've got 7 podcasts lined up for this week. We've obviously just got to record them all, but I hope you do enjoy these podcasts, because I'm getting so many people listening to them now. It really does baffle me how many people around the world as well. Last year I was only getting like 1,000 downloads a month, and this year I'm now getting 8,000 a month. So it just goes to show how many people are listening to these podcasts, and it's unbelievable. I just thank you all for the support of doing it, and it pays towards buying my seeds for my plot and stuff like that. So the more people that listen to it, the more people I'll put in back into my plot, and you can get the enjoyment out of all the photos and seeing all the stuff what grows. And again, like I say, I don't grow it all for me to eat. I share it with friends, work colleagues and everything as well, so it's not all just for me. A lot of my gardening is to get the enjoyment and for the mental health. It's not always for the fruit and the vegetables. So thank you for all your support you do give me. If you've not clicked that subscribe button, click it now, and please help me get as many subscribers as possible. Keep sharing them on your Instagram stories. I've got so many great fans that do share them on the Instagram stories as well, so keep sharing them on them and encouraging people to listen to it. So until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcasts. So thank you for listening to today's episode of Gardening with Ben. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Remember to do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts. Feel free to share them on your Instagram stories so that it spreads the word about my podcast and we get lots more listeners. Feel free to check out my social media sites, Facebook and Instagram as well, Gardening with Ben, and also my YouTube channel, to stay up to date with all my handy videos, how-to videos, and sharing my tips and advice. And feel free to check the link as well in the description for my Gardening with Ben t-shirts. Lots of funny gardening design t-shirts in there for you to purchase at great prices too. So thanks again, and as always, remember, keep smiling and keep gardening.